was the last time you felt truly understood? Now flip it. We're talking about deep understanding today. We'll be discussing this topic under the following themes: emotional validation versus fixing. When we name feelings, for some of us parents, that might be very difficult to truly express themselves. All right. And sometimes, are you afraid of the answer? In this second episode of Building Strong Families, we are looking at the topic I see you, exploring how to build deeper understanding within our families. If I ask you, when was the last time you felt truly understood? Like someone really saw past your words and the person sees into your heart. When was the last time you experienced that? Now flip it. When was the last time your child, your spouse, your siblings felt that from you? We're talking about deep understanding today and the beautiful messiness of getting there, which means it's not something you just jump into. Sometimes we have failed and faltered, and then we begin to understand each other. We'll be discussing this topic under the following themes: emotional validation versus fixing, how to really see each family members based on their temperament, based on their needs, and their silent cues, like versus what being misunderstood is like. And so, to do that, it is important for us to identify certain uh, nuggets that will help us. And the first thing is emotional validation versus fixing. So we can say you're upset. We can also say that must feel hard. Instead of saying you shouldn't be upset, what's upsetting in that? What's about that is upsetting? It's not a big deal, you know. We can also introduce the concept of name it to tame it, because when we name feelings, when children are able to name their feelings, when adults are able to name their feelings, it reduces the power that feeling might be having on individuals. So we want to also be able to name those feelings. I feel excited. I feel happy. I feel anxious. I feel judged, you know. And then when you name it, the other person will know the state you're in and how to, be of support. Being parenting with curiosity now will require that we do not correct too much. For some of us parents, that might be very difficult. We just want to correct. Before the child speaks, you have corrected the sentence. Before the child eats, you have corrected the chewing pattern and all that. But to parent with curiosity may require that we do not make correcting our priority as against understanding. So we want to ask the question, can you help me understand? You want to say, can you help me understand what you're saying? Can you help me understand how you feel? Can you help me understand why you're doing that? And it helps to actually, because you're being curious about them, they feel there's a sense of, this person really wants to know about me. This person is interested in me. So you can use tools like love languages, personality profile, e.g. temperament, MBTI for older children, to know these are not diagnoses. It's not like we're diagnosing their destiny and saying, for you to have this personality, this is how your life will be. This is the kind of friends you will have. This is how, it's not diagnosis, and it's not their destiny. It's a lens, it's not a label. And it's great for self-awareness, leadership, and team dynamics. So it's not something we should be afraid of. It's actually something we should embrace in our family. We can also practice observational empathy. We now respond with compassion. All right. So you think of empathy, you think of observational empathy like empathy in action. All right. Without the need for a backstory. I really don't need to hear how the whole thing happened to know that you're not feeling good. I really don't need to hear you tell me about that success story to know that, oh, you're excited and happy. It involves reading nonverbal cues like body language, tone of voice, facial expression, and then picking on environmental shifts. You know how people can just go silent or there is tension within the room. You'll be able to tell something is not going well here, or subtle changes in energy. Everything is about energy. Where the communication is not smooth, you will know by the energy in that space. And then observational empathy also entails responding appropriately. It has to do with how we respond, when we give that knowing look or a gentle question. How you feeling? What's going on there? Or how what drained you today? Questions like that show that we're interested in knowing the person. And it also involves offering like a support or a space for expression, where we allow people to just find expression. Remember that the purposes of a person's heart are deep. They are like deep waters. Or Bible says they are deep waters. But one who has insight draws them out. That verse is a masterclass in parenting on its own, because it's simply saying that insight is drawn, insight is not assumed. We cannot afford to assume everything about our spouses, assume everything about our children, assume everything about our friends without drawing out insights from them to understand truly where they're coming from and how we can be of support, how we can provide that space for them to truly express themselves. All right. And in doing this, to practice this, we can ask simple questions. What was the best part of your week? Yeah. When you ask what was the best part of your week, you are basically saying, draw me into how your week has been. We can ask, what do you feel? When do you feel safest with me? All right. When you ask someone, when do you feel safest with me? Or sometimes, are you afraid of the answer? Some people might be afraid of what the response may be. But it's quite important in the family to say, when do you feel safest with me? And we can also ask questions like, what's something that I have misunderstood about you? A lot of the time, we actually misunderstand each other. The person's facial expression might be because they are feeling a certain pain in their body, and then we are assuming that they do not like maybe what we just said, how we are dressed, or where we're going or what we're doing. We could just assume like that. So it's good to ask, what is something that I have misunderstood about you? That way we gain more clarity and we come closer. We have better connection with each other. You can practice the line like, I'm listening and I really want to understand. I do not just want to respond. When you drop that kind of line, your spouse will relax and say, oh, what's going on here? Is this the same person? Or your child will like, something is changing here. Someone is really interested in me. And by so doing, we continue to support each other, increase communication, and strengthen our family relationship. I am going to stop at this point today, and here is my closing line. Communication opens doors, and let's walk through them. So, see you in episode 3, where we'll discuss further. Bye bye.